Based on a number of questions, the topic has arisen about the textile mounts, the brocade mounts that surround paintings and thangkas. I separate paintings and thangkas here because thangkas just means a scroll work, a Tibetan scroll work. So it could be a textile, an embroidery, an applique, or actually a painted work. Now, the cloth mounts that are commonly seen with paintings, they apply both to the textile works and the painted works, and they have a bit of a history to them, and it really belongs under art history and not iconography and not religious context. There's no religious context to the cloth framing that goes around a Thangka or a pata or a palba, depending what culture. I'm sorry, I don't know the word in Chinese for scroll work. Now, really the earliest that we know of from examples, Indian examples, are very small kinds of paintings, and the kind of finishing that is done for a painting is to sew a strip of cloth at the top and the bottom of a painted work or textile work, and this cloth is often flared out at the top and flared at the bottom, and they're not very long. They can be only a quarter of the total work in size. They take up very little space. A stick is often applied at the top. It's attached to help with hanging, and then another stick or a wooden rod is attached at the bottom, and this adds some weight. So when the finished artwork is being hung, then it hangs straight. Now, we have these examples, and then we do have examples of Tibetan works from the 13th, 14th century, and sometimes 15th century, where we very clearly see this just two pieces of cloth that are added, sometimes a very thin, almost like a ribbon, vertical strips can be sewn to the sides of a painting, and this helps to prevent fraying of the cloth. So this we see sometimes on better quality paintings where more skill and more quality, more expense is put into the work itself. Now often the color is blue. For some reason, it was quite common to find blue, but also green for the top and bottom of the paintings. Now, we do have examples that begin to come into Tibet and the Himalayan regions of Chinese gifts, of gifts from actually the Yuan period, so it's a Mongol period of China, and then these gifts of paintings and textile works, they have silk brocades around them, and they're done in strips so that they add a different dimension and they add more color to the frame of the painting. So we actually have a true frame rather than just sort of a protective device of putting cloth at the top and bottom. So the idea of putting brocades on paintings is relatively late. We really don't see it in a big way until the 15th, 16th century to the present. Now we also have different styles, different varieties of how this kind of brocade frame is done. But again, it's all based on region, it's based on taste, it's based on what's available. But then later on, in the last 200-300 years, places that can't afford imported rich silk brocades, then what they would do is they would paint around the actual subject of the artwork as if it's mounted in brocade, but it's actually painted. So it's a painted brocade around the painting. So this just quick introduction that it really is an art history kind of topic, and there's no religious significance to how the painting is framed.